West Ham 1, Chelsea 5. 3 points. Is it a fire drill? I think so. Yes, folks, let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to KGX to the ZTV. Appreciate everybody checking in. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on. Content. We are coming quick and fast like the Chelsea attack today. Unlike the Chelsea attack last week against Crystal Palace, Crystal Meth FC. But today, lovely scenes in the London Stadium. If you're wearing the right color blue, of course. Chelsea blue, that is. Chelsea 5, West Ham 1. Early scenes started off a little shaky, right? Even before we get to that, let's rewind. Rewind selector. The lineup came out, and it was an interesting lineup. Delap, Pedro Neto, João Pedro, Gusto in there. Tosin came back, and then pretty much the regulars, right? Enzo Caicedo, CP, who else? Cucurella, Chalobah, Robert Sanchez. So a lot of familiar faces that made it from match week 1, and then a couple of new folks that started, but still got some folks that still got some minutes in that first match versus Palace, like Gusto. But pre-match, a lot of concerns. Cole Palmer down the tunnel, couldn't go, had to be replaced. Reports came out after confirming that he felt something. Looks like it was in the growing. Pause. But that sort of thrust Esteval into the lineup. And most Twitter tacticos, not myself included, I'll leave the tactical stuff to the manager. Although I do like the dabble here and there. Maybe we'll get the tactics board out for one of the streams or one of the videos, but not this one. Don't need this one too much. But yeah, everyone was kind of looking at it and saying, "Well, João Pedro and Delap, what's that going to look like? Are they going to play up top two? Is it going to be sort of like a 5-3-2 in defense? Is it going to be is João Pedro going to play off the left because we didn't really have an out-and-out recognized left striker? Is he going to play in the 10? And come to find out, he very much did play in the 10, but he also very much played up top. And we'll talk about his performance later. But yeah, Esteval came in, sort of the 2 10s behind Delap. We know that West Ham is going to come out with a 5 at the back, keep it very compact, try to channel everything into the middle and force us to break them down in the middle like Crystal Palace did. But unlike Crystal Palace, they don't have the players that Palace do. They don't have the setup that Palace do. They don't have the manager that Palace do. And it showed. And credit to West Ham, though, because they came out strong. They came out with intensity. The crowd was fired up, and rightfully so. First home match of the year for them after they just got drubbed 3-0 at the Stadium of Light to newly promoted Sunderland. And they came out. They were on us for every good attack that we had. They also had a good attack, and like a lot of times that we did last year, they caught us out. We turned the ball over. Esteval tried to flick middle of the park. One of those moments that showed his lack of maturity, which is okay, right? He's an 18-year-old. He's playing centrally. He wasn't slated to start originally. He was going to come off the bench, but the Palmer injury forced him into it. So he gets in. His flick doesn't come off. Paqueta picks it up. We don't close him down, and Paqueta shoots from range. And if we're being honest, which we always are, poor effort by Robert Sanchez. Poor positional sense by Robert Sanchez. He flaps at it. Instead of going with both hands, he decides to just only go with his inside hand. And when you look at it, the replay, it just gets worse and worse. But that's the kind of BS that we're on when we have that guy in goal, and he's always capable of those bozo moments. So we're down 1-0 early. I think it was like the 6th minute. West Ham Stadium was rocking. But just like we showed last year at times, we showed a resilience and we did not hang our heads and we fight back. We get the goal courtesy of a set piece. Cucurella at the near post flicks it on. João Pedro at the back post heads it in. 1-1. just like that, we equalize. West Ham fans are already putting their heads down. But again, credit to West Ham. They rebounded a little bit. They showed a little bit of resolve. They got back into it. And before you know it, they were putting a second one past Robert Sanchez. But this time, luckily, he gets called out for VAR for offside, which it was. It was a good call. Chelsea players knew it from the jump, too. I was watching the game on a live stream. Shout out my man, Jimmy. So I didn't have the volume in. So you could see the players immediately go to surround the ref and Michael Oliver, I think. So you knew that there were a lot of calls for concern in terms of potential for being offside, and it was rightly called 1-1, and from there it was just over. Chelsea flipped the switch, West Ham shut down, and it was just, what number do we want? Do we want 3-1? Do we want 4-1? Do we want 5-1? Do we want 6? Do we want 7? And it was one of those things where those games where everyone in attack, the midfield was good, the back line tightened up, pause. Even Sanchez, who, again, didn't have too much to do, and that's mostly in part thanks to our fantastic setup, once again, by Enzo Maresca. Say for all of his faults and for all of his lack of experience, one thing that he's shown to be really, really good at is setting ourselves up in a solid defensive structure that limits the amount of shots that we take on our net. And rightfully so. He probably sees Robert Sanchez in practice every day, sees him flailing at stuff, sees his poor position, probably sees Jorgensen do the same and decides to go with the more senior keeper. But defensively, sound. Caicedo sweeping stuff up. Chalobah, Tosin came back in, so the buildup was a little bit more fluid, a little bit better. Although, again, West Ham made it very, very easy for us. And, you could say, for as poor as West Ham played, Chelsea played really well, and we made West Ham play that way. But just a total team effort. Second goal didn't come too long after that. The third goal didn't come too long after that. A lovely, just a passage of play where we played it up quick to Delap. Delap had a fantastic game. Didn't score, but was very involved. His link-up play, mature beyond his years. He had a nice little flick around the corner for Esteval, put Esteval through. Esteval beat a man, got to the byline, squared it, and then right then and there, right place, right time, box crashing Enzo, it's a mouthful, pause, was there to make it 3-1, and from there the route was on. Going to the half, 3-1, cruising. We're like, all right, the next goal is crucial. The next goal either kills the game or gives West Ham hope. Again, West Ham poor on on set pieces, and we look like Arsenal out there. Set piece, ole. This time, Caicedo, who, very interesting, and I made this point during the watch along, was most of the times we have Caicedo back defending corners in transition, but sometimes when we have Gusto in there, Gusto has good pace and decent reading of the game back there, and is usually pretty safe back there. So we had Gusto back, and this time Caicedo was in the box, and Caicedo, right place, right time, toe poke, keeper, we made a howler of it. We capitalized. It's 4-1. West Ham fans leaving the stadium. It's over. That was like the 50th minute. We score 6 minutes later. This time it was it Neto that got it? Or no, it was Chalobah. Again, on another set piece off of another header. This time, João Pedro. So João Pedro, fantastic match. Goal, 2 assists. Pedro Neto, I glossed over him. He had the second goal. He caught Wan-Bissaka sleeping on the back post. Nice little finish. Neto's been on fire, been playing really, really well since the back end of last season. He was not only fantastic going forward in terms of just being a nuisance, but also just defensively. There was a time in the second half where West Ham was away on the right-hand flank. Neto, all the way from his own half, chased it down, shielded it out for a goal kick, and just really, 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 really has shown the form that we saw when he was at Wolves a couple of years ago, when he was scoring goals, when he was looking lethal on the counter, when he was sending in dangerous crosses. And so, just the overall play, just really, really sound. And we need a player like Neto in the squad, need him in the 11, because he offers a little bit of that pace in behind that stretches back lines and allows us to sort of capitalize on that space right in front of him. So shout out Neto. Shutout Esteval was fantastic, just really lively. Had a great chance. Reece James came on in the second half, played a lovely through ball just out of the outreach, the outstretched feet of Joff, I think, and was right into the path of Esteval. Esteval should have taken it first time, but he rounded the keeper and then rounded the defender. And by that time, both of them had kind of recovered, so they were able to get the block. He didn't lift the shot up, but this is a fantastic performance for him. Mature performance in that second half, minus that minus another flick that didn't really come off, but this time we did get punished for it. Just looked really, really solid, and credit to him for being ready. Got thrust into it, which actually, to be honest, might have settled his nerves a little bit better because he probably wasn't thinking about starting, wasn't thinking in that sort of mind frame. But when you get the call and you've got to turn on that quick, you don't really have a time to get nervous and things like that. So shout out Esteval, shout out Pedro, fantastic. Just linking up play, getting in the box, being a nuisance, being strong, fancy feet, nice footwork. Just a solid player. Delap, I mentioned before, the midfield was fantastic. Caicedo mopping everything up, got his goal. Enzo just more active, looked a little bit sharper. Didn't have to do too much, but also got his goal. Cucurella, little quiet, but if your left back is quiet, that means it's normally going to be a good game. Tosin, good game. Didn't really have too much to deal with. Chalobah, good game, got his goal. Fofana came on, got some minutes in him. Looked decent, looked a little rusty at times. There was a time where he was trying to buy a free kick in the box that was a little dangerous. He fell on the ball, grabbed the ball inside of his own box, which I was like, yo, that's a no-no. Don't do that, because if the ref doesn't call it there, he's pointing to the spot. You're getting clowned. You're probably not going to be playing for a little while. Reece James, like I mentioned, came on, locked shit down, spraying passes. Just total defender. We're doing very well with managing his minutes, managing his fitness. I mentioned Sanchez, not much to do after that howler. Gittins came on, wasn't too involved, but still nice to see him get some minutes. But yeah, just overall, just a very, very resounding performance, one that we needed right after the 1-1 draw at Palace. We needed some good momentum. We needed the 3 points. We needed the performance, and we got everything. We got all of it. Obviously, we'll wait to see what the results are with Cole Palmer to see if he's out. But it's nice to be without your best player, your best creative player, and still be able to put up 5 goals. So it shows the quality of depth. The squad's still not fully there for me. I think we still need to strengthen a little bit in the window. Maybe another center back, maybe a better keeper, and upgrade at that. But overall, just a fantastic performance, fantastic management, lineup tactics by Maresca, good subs, and just good vibes. Nice Friday night fixture. Get the 3 points in the bag. We sit back all weekend. We enjoy the football. We do a little bit of hate for the Spurs, against Arsenal, and we just enjoy. We just enjoy, and we move on to the next one. Like I said, we'll wait to see what comes and walk on with Cole Palmer. But 3 points up the Chelsea. Hit those likes, hit those subscribe, turn those notifications on. Let me know what you think of the game. Let me know who was your standout player, who was your man of the match. Let me know what you thought of the lineup. If you would change anything moving forward with Brentford. Are you concerned about Cole Palmer and his growing, or does the performance today by Esteval, does the performance today by the rest of the team give you more confidence in the squad overall as a whole, and as we slowly move further and further away from Cole Palmer FC? So big up yourself each and every time. Like I said, smash those likes, smash that subscribe, and we will see you at the next one. Peace.